Hello dear students, welcome to English class. Today we will do chapter number 4 in your book Moments. Name of the chapter is In the Kingdom of Fools. Dear students, it is believed that fools are so dangerous that only very wise people can manage them. Who are the fools in this story? What happens to them? I hope you also believe that fools are always dangerous to manage. They are very tough to manage. Only wise and patient, the people who have great patience, they can manage them easily. In this story, there are some fools because the name of the story is The Kingdom of the Fools. So let us see who are the fools in the story and what happened to them. In the kingdom of fools, both the king and the minister were idiots. They didn't want to run things like other kings. So they decided to change night into day and day into night. They ordered that everyone should be awake at night, till their fields and run their business only after dark, and go to bed as soon as the sun came up. Anyone who disobeyed would be punished with death. The people did as they were told for fear of death. The king and the minister were delighted at the success of their project. So in there was a kingdom of fools. Both the minister as well as the king were idiots. They changed the rules. They changed night into day and day into night and forced their people to follow according to them. And also into death. Therefore, because of the fear, all of the people had to obey them. One day, a guru and his disciple arrived in the city. It was a beautiful city. It was broad daylight, but there was no one about. Everyone was asleep, not a mouse stirring. Even the cattle had been taught to sleep by day. The two strangers were amazed by what they saw around them and watched around the town till evening, when suddenly the whole town woke up and went about its nightly business. So one day, a guru and his disciple came to the city where the king has changed the rule of nature. It was a beautiful city, no doubt. It was a broad daylight time, but unfortunately, there was no one in the whole city. Everyone was asleep. Not even a mouse was stirring. And even the cattle, they were also taught to sleep by day. The two strangers, the guru and the disciple, they were amazed to see all these things. And they wandered in the town till evening. Suddenly in the evening, the whole town woke up and the night business started. The two men were hungry. Now that the shops were open, they went to buy some groceries. To their astonishment, they found that everything cost the same, a single dudu, whether they bought a measure of rice or a bunch of bananas. It cost a dudu. The guru and his disciple were delighted. They had never heard of anything like this. The town was awake and the whole business started. That time, the guru and the disciple bought some food for them because they were very hungry and they had been wandering in the whole city since morning. So, to their astonishment, they were astonished to find that everything was having the same cost, and the cost was a single dudu. Whether they want to purchase rice or they want to purchase bananas, everything was having the same cost. That made the guru and the disciple delighted, and they found all the things were very cheap to purchase, and they could buy all the food they wanted for a rupee. When they had cooked and eaten, the guru realized that this was a kingdom of fools and it wouldn't be a good idea for them to stay there. This is no place for us. Let us go, he said to his disciple. But the disciple didn't want to leave the place. Everything was cheap there. All he wanted was good, cheap food. The Guru said, "They are all fools. This won't last very long, and you can't tell what they'll do to you next." So, when the Guru and the disciple, they had cooked the food and they eaten that food, after this the Guru told his disciple that this is a place of fools and this is not good to stay there for longer. But the disciple, who was very fond of eating food and found the food too cheap for his eating, for fulfilling his stomach, he to expend some money, only few rupees, only one dudu to fill his stomach. Therefore, he did not want to leave that place. But the Guru warned him that the people living in that city, they were fool, and it was not sure what they would do next to them. Therefore, it was better for them to leave that place as soon as possible. But the disciple wouldn't listen to the Guru's wisdom. He wanted to stay. The Guru finally gave up and said, "Do what do you want? I'm going," and left. The disciple stayed on, ate his fill every day, bananas and ghee and rice and wheat, and grew fat like a street side sacred bull. So when the disciple did not listen the Guru's wise words, the Guru thought that he should be left there, and he left the disciple at that city and went on from there. In the absence of the Guru, the disciple ate his fill every day. Whatever he bought, might be bananas, ghee, rice and wheat and everything. And eating a lot, he became too much fat, and he looked like a street side sacked bull. One bright day, a thief broke into a rich merchant's house. He had made a hole in the wall and sneaked in. And as he was carrying out his loot, the wall of the old house collapsed on his head and killed him on the spot. His brother ran to the king and complained, "Your Highness, when my brother was pursuing his ancient trade, you must punish the wrongdoer and compensate the family for this injustice." So one day a thief broke into a rich merchant's house. And when the thief made a hole in the wall and tried to get into that wall to accomplish his loot, suddenly the wall of that old house collapsed on his head and killed him. And the brother of the thief, he complained to the king that the wall killed his brother when he was pursuing his ancient trade, and that merchant who was the owner of that house, the merchant was to blame. And he also requested the king to call the merchant and punish him for making a weak wall, and compensate the family of the thief for this injustice. The king said, "Justice will be done, don't worry," and at once summoned the owner of the house. When the merchant arrived, the king questioned him, "What's your name?" "Such and such, your highness." "Were you at home when the dead man burgled your house?" "Yes, my lord. He broke in and the wall was weak. It fell on him." "The accused pleads guilty. Your wall killed this man's brother. You have murdered a man. We have to punish you." So, dear student, after listening the request of the brother of the thief, the king called the merchant and asked about the truth. The merchant told the king, that yes, it was right that when the thief was stealing in his home, the thief was robbing in his home, After listening this truth, the king declared that the merchant was the accused of killing the person. Therefore, he must be punished. Lord, said the helpless merchant, I didn't put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. He didn't build it right. You should punish him. Who is that? My lord, this wall was built in my father's time. But I know the man. He is an old man now. He lives nearby. The king sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. They brought him, tied hand and foot. So when the merchant listened that he was going to be put to death, then he got afraid, and suddenly he requested the king that he should not punished, because he did not build the wall. The person who really built the wall was the real culprit. He should be punished. The king agreed, and he called the bricklayer who made that wall. That time the bricklayer was an old man. He was called to the court of the king by tying his hand and foot. You there, did you build this man's wall in his father's time? Yes, my lord, I did. What kind of a wall is this that you built? It has fallen on a poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death. Before the king could order the execution, the poor bricklayer pleaded, Please listen to me before you give your orders. It's true that I built this wall and it was no good, but that was because my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl who was going up and down that street all day with her anklets jingling, and I couldn't keep my eyes or my mind on the wall I was building. You must get that dancing girl. I know where she lives. So when the bricklayer was called and was asked about the wall, he accepted before the king that he made that wall, but the bricklayer added one more thing, that it was not his fault that he had made the weak wall, because when he was making that wall, at that time a dancing girl was up going up and down that street all day with her anklets jingling, and that jingling made her mind diverted, and therefore he could not make a strong wall. So when the bricklayer gave his statement to save himself before the king also thought for a while and declared that the bricklayer was not the real culprit. So the dancing girl was decided to call to the court, because according to the king, now the dancing girl was the culprit. You are right. The case deepens. We must look into it. It is not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let us get that dancer, wherever she is. The dancing girl, now an old woman, came trembling to the court. Did you walk up and down that street many years ago while this poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? Yes, my lord. I remember it very well. So you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling? You were young and you distracted him, so he built a bad wall. So when the dancing girl was called to the court of the king, at that time she was not a girl, she was an old woman. And she came to the court trembling because of fear, trembling because of her age. When she was asked if she walked up and down that street many years ago while that poor man was building a wall, if she saw him, then the dancing girl answered that yes, it was right that she did walk up and down, but it was not her fault. So, dear student, so this was the story of the kingdom of fools. In this story, the king was judging a case. In that case, who is the real culprit? Who killed that thief? Because not the merchant was a faulter. Now the bricklayer also convinced the king that he was not the real culprit, and on his request, on his demand, the dancing girl was called, and according to the dancing girl was the real culprit. Whether the dancing girl was the real culprit or someone else who was involved in that case, we will read the another part of the story in the next video, and till then you have to read the chapter till this part, and stay home, stay healthy. Thank you. Have a nice day.